There are few experiences more enjoyable than a day at the range, shooting your own reloads, confident that those rounds going downrange are the best and that you're saving money to boot. But you may wonder whether you can find the knowledge, learn the skills, and especially afford the equipment you'll need. Let me help you make that decision. Over the next 20 minutes, I'll introduce you to the basics of reloading, show you the equipment, how to use it, and then you'll be able to make a good rational decision. To get you started, I'm going to go against conventional wisdom and recommend that you use a progressive or semi-automatic press. I'll show you that a progressive machine will simplify every single step of the reloading process for you, and second, I'm going to recommend that we begin by reloading pistol bullets, which are generally simpler to reload than rifle cartridges, a subject I'll cover in my next video. We can begin by reviewing some basic knowledge, a little theory. Then I'll demonstrate the 8 fundamental operations needed to create a single reloaded round, explaining all of the equipment that you will need. And finally, we'll need to talk about how much everything will all cost, that all-important cost-to-benefit ratio. Then, with all that knowledge, you'll be able to decide whether you even want to go down this reloading path. To begin with, let's review bullet basics. A loaded round consists of 4 components. The component that starts the whole firing process is the primer. Here you can see its 3 parts. On the left, a soft brass cup. The cup contains this lead-based explosive compound. That third triangular piece is called the anvil. It's made of a hard brass or bronze alloy. When the firing pin strikes the cup, it so rapidly shocks the explosive material against the anvil that the primer compound literally explodes. On the right, you can see all of the components assembled together, ready for you to place the assembly into your primer pocket. Before we go further, though, let me turn a primer in profile. Notice how that anvil base protrudes very slightly beyond the cup. That slight protrusion is going to become critically important to us when we, ever so carefully, ever so consistently, insert that primer into the primer pocket. Next, we come to the brass cartridge case, the incredible invention that brings all of the components together. Your primer fits into this pocket at the cartridge base. Next, notice that hole, that channel, leading from the primer into the main body of the cartridge. This is the channel that allows that exploding hot flame to pass from the primer into the cartridge where it ignites the powder. Which now brings us to the next component, the powder itself. The smokeless powders that we use today are based on a nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose mixture, all modified to create the appropriate rate of burning for each powder's intended use. Pistol bullets need powders that burn within the confines of a short barrel, say 3 to 6 inches usually, and they burn quickly. Rifle powders are expected to burn more slowly and are made so that they are essentially completely burned by the time the bullet leaves the end of a 18 to 24 inch barrel. Notice I said burn, not explode. Smokeless powders burn rapidly and controllably, but you should know that smokeless powders vary tremendously in their burning rates. And that brings up a warning. Load pistol powder into a rifle cartridge and you will almost certainly destroy your gun and possibly yourself and possibly people standing nearby. Perhaps you noticed that exploded cartridge below. I did not get a picture of the blown up rifle or the damage to the shooter's arm. Both were impressive. And that brings us to our final component, the part that travels downrange, the bullet. We can group almost all handgun bullets into 4 basic types. Each is designed to perform a specific function. Lead bullets, like the one you see on the left, are less expensive than others, and this design punches clean holes in paper targets. No surprise, it's called a semi-wad cutter bullet. The next is a military round-nose bullet completely clad with gilding metal, a copper zinc alloy. The round nose enhances reliable feeding in auto-loading handguns, and the complete covering satisfies Geneva military conventions. The next bullet looks like it is solid, but is actually composed of particles cemented or sintered together. It's called a frangible bullet and is used when we want to avoid backscatter, particles coming back to hit us when we shoot at steel targets. Finally, we come to anti-personnel or defensive rounds. Usually made with a hollow point, they are designed to open quickly upon striking soft tissue and penetrate that soft tissue only a limited amount. There's one thought I'd like to leave with you. Most of us have gotten into reloading to save money or even to make the large number of rounds we need to practice to the amount that we want to practice. Today there's another factor to consider. It's freedom. Reloading gives us freedom. If you've been following the recent events in California where it's required to have a background check simply to buy ammo, you know what I mean. We live in an uncertain Second Amendment environment, don't we? Reloading does give you freedom. Now, finally, if you thought the video valuable, please give it a thumbs up. If you sign your real name to the comments, I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have. The comments I'd really like to get are those that help me improve the video, which is my continuing goal. Now let's go on to the next one, where we go through the 8 essential steps for you to craft a really good, safe reload.